All right, welcome back to part 2 of Module 4, Outreach at Events. So let us look at specific things to think of and apply in terms of outreaching at each distinctive following events. During marches, for example, we need strategy. Always. Ideas to optimize a march would be to first have an already good outreacher or leader do an outreach brief to motivate others, especially that when marching, we don't have much time to interact and converse with others along the way if we want to stay on track. So the team of outreachers are the ones that stay on the outside of the march with the necessary leaflets that contain calls for action for the public to do and research further. We keep it easy to manage for the safety marshals, so we don't cross the street. We stay on the same side unless someone is appointed ahead of time to stay on the other side of the street, which might be very smart. So we only hand out to the people that are already interested, the people that have stopped and are looking in out of curiosity. We ensure that we're aware when someone is looking for more context. We establish the eye contact and smile as we do so, and we give them a certain sense of urgency, which is the reality. Like, we needed things to change yesterday, right? Examples of quick key things to say as we're handing out the information are, please have a look at the documentaries. They're really worth a watch. The information on this card is super valuable. We all want to make informed decisions, right? This info is super important. Please look at it and research it further. I know you'll find it in your heart to look at the information on this card. I know I can trust you to research this further. Take this card with everything you need on it. We need your help. Please inform yourself as soon as possible. So we mention quick urgent messages as we hand out the cards, and we could always mention the location the march is finishing that day in case they want to come and ask us more questions right away the same day. I also suggest having a dedicated activist who is a clear communicator to speak to the public as you march along with a megaphone or with a microphone. Best bet. And so during protests, remarkably, like the marches, we want to ensure to brief the people present for the event. It always functions better to work on assigning roles to each person. We want to make sure we have a bunch of people dedicated to focus on outreaching. We need to motivate them to remember their reasons why. And of course, we have a module on that too. Not only why, but also the goal of that event. 2 reflective questions I always like to ask myself are, 1, how best can I serve others today? 2, what is the worst that could happen? And most of the time, my answers are 1, by smiling, by being kind and compassionate, being an attentive and a good listener. And number 2, in the case of urging someone to endorse the plant-based treaty, for example, they say no and potentially insult me. So during the event, we want to do a slight checklist. We'll be talking about all of those in following modules, like our own presentation and how to talk with people. We might need to train ourselves a bit more than we have so far. So let's talk about hosting a table with a team or alone. If you want your table to be inviting, the more professional it looks, the more chances of attracting people in it. It doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money. It just means you need to be resourceful. And we do talk about that in presentation in Module 6. So always ensure you have something to equip people with, a call for action. In the case of the plant-based treaty, for example, you could have your phone to show people how to endorse on the spot with theirs, even maybe tablets. But in some locations, we did notice that people prefer to sign paper sheets. So I would encourage you to have both. And to solve the problem of people writing all scribbly, you can ask to write it for them, so it's clearer, or you could ask them to make an extra effort when they decide to write it themselves. Honestly, if I had more time on my hands right now, I'd find a super busy foot traffic location near me, because staying close to home is a huge advantage. It makes it easier to build relationships within your own community and potentially meet the right people that can make affluential decisions. And of course, I'd set up a table with tablecloth and a clear sign saying something like, you can help right now under 1 minute, or a simple action you can take right now for our planet and the animals on it. with a sign-up sheet, and I would set an intention and a goal to get at least 1 to 4 pages worth of signatures and at least 5 to 10 endorsements on the spot electronically before I leave. I would ensure to look presentable, put my best smile on, and get to work. In my mind, it's in our duty to make our actions as effective as possible. And every time I have an enjoyable conversation with someone, I could ask them to tell me on camera why they just endorsed. And then I could promote it on social media. The sooner, the better. So outreaching goes beyond the conversations we have with the public. We can be taking it to social media after with a double whammy. So, do you want me to do media releases? Yes, I have learned within the past few years that media releases are so important. It's an excellent method that you can outreach so many people at the same time, especially when the article is written cleverly and it's picked up by multiple outlets. I'd suggest writing out the bulk of the event even before it started, initiating the visualization process, and then add whatever needs to be added after the fact. Another suggestion is to find ways to make some type of drama happen under your control and provoked to make it more newsworthy, if you can, of course. So stay tuned for this next module on diving deeper into Socratic questioning, why active listening is important, and how it goes hand in hand with the previous subject. We'll also touch up on talking with someone, not at them. So see you in the next module soon. Peace.